This is the one that started it all.
Come prepared for the thrill of a lifetime. Incredibly deadly, unbelievably vicious. See one incredible onslaught after the other. Secrets never before revealed. Five Fingers of Death from Warner Brothers. Rated R.
Right on. What is going on, everybody? It's Hector Martinez once again for Urban Kung Fu. And today I want to talk about the movie that started it all. The movie, the classic amongst classics that started the Kung Fu boom here in the U.S. I'm talking about the one and only Five Fingers of Death, also known as King Boxer, also known as Invincible Boxer. And King Boxer, yes, was produced back in 1972 by the famous Shaw Brothers. And everyone knows Run Run Shaw, but this one was produced by his brother Run Me Shaw and starred the famous bad guy. This guy was always an excellent villain in the Shaw Brothers films. I'm talking about the one and only Lo Lee. And a lot of people know Lo Lee from his work as Priest Pai Mei in Fist of the White Lotus and Executioners from Shaolin. He was also in Golden Swallow with Wang Yu, which was, oh man, one of my all-time favorite films. And Lo Lee is actually one of my top 5 actors in Hong Kong film of all time. And Five Fingers of Death was released in 1972 in Hong Kong, but released in 1973 in the United States. And I saw it back in September with my parents, actually. I was about maybe 12 or 13 years old. And we went to this movie theater, this neighborhood movie theater known as the Jefferson Theater. And it was located on 14th Street and 3rd Avenue. Sadly, it's no longer there, but the memories remain. And I remember going in there with my parents. You know, we went to see this because everybody was talking about Five Fingers of Death. And we walked in. But like I had mentioned before in past videos, the experience I had watching Five Fingers of Death was bizarre because my father is one of those old school Western film lovers. And when we went there, 15 minutes into the film, he actually got up and he said, you know, I don't want to watch this. This is, this is all fake. I'm not going to waste my time with this garbage. And we had to walk out. I mean, I couldn't believe it, you know, but the following week, I managed to go back with my school friends and we watched Five Fingers of Death over and over again. I became an instant fan of this movie. This movie has resonated with me throughout the years. I mean, of course, we had Bruce Lee, Angela Mao Ying, and we had dozens and dozens of other Shaw Brothers classics like the 36th Chamber of Shaolin, you know, all these, the Five Deadly Venoms. But Five Fingers of Death will always be the one, my first love, the one that started it all. And it's a movie that I watch continuously because it's actually one of my personal favorites. Also known as Tin Ha Dayet Kun, which is the Mandarin translation for the world's #1 fist. And what you're looking at right now is my gem, my treasure. This is one of my prized possessions, and this is an original 8x10, 1973 black and white, Five Fingers of Death, front of house still, signed by the late and great Mr. Lo Lee. This is indeed my gem. Now, what you're looking at right now is an original 1972 Hong Kong poster to King Boxer, aka Five Fingers of Death. This is an original Chinese Shaw Brothers poster from the period, and it's one of my personal favorites. Love it because it features all the main characters on the front. Love that shot of Lo Li. That's iconic right there. And in Chinese, it's translated Tin Ha Da Yut Kun. Now this one is an original 1973, I believe, not too sure, but this is from the Japanese market. This is an original 1972-1973 Japanese theatrical poster to King Boxer. Again, another one of my favorite posters in my collection. I love the way the Japanese use the images and the color. Now this one that's coming up is it's a pretty big poster. This is actually from France. And you know how France are. Whenever they produce a film back in the days, I mean, their posters were humongous. This is what they call a grande poster. And as you can see, it's pretty gigantic. But it's nonetheless very beautiful. And again, it features Lo Li, the main character, on the front. It says Le Main de Fer. I believe it's the King Boxer in French. Just a beautiful poster. It's a pity I can't display it because it's so big, but I always said that if I ever move into my own house or into a loft, I'm gonna display it. Now this one is the one that started it all for me. This is from 1973, and it's the American one sheet. And as you can see, it says 5 Fingers of Death. This is the poster I remember seeing at the theater lobby when I went to the movie theater back in 1973. And this is the theater where I went to see it, the iconic Jefferson Theater. It was the home of Kung Fu and blaxploitation. As you can see, they were giving Kung Fu the Invisible Fist and Coffee with Pam Grier. This was the theater where me and my friends would just run to see the latest in Kung Fu films. And this here is the original flyer from May 1st, April 25th to May 1st, 1973. And this is an original ad from the Jefferson Theater promoting 5 Fingers of Death. Such a classic.